This is my 2010 Caterham Supersport that I imported from the UK to Canada and drove it from Halifax to Ontario in the middle of November. It's around 1700 kilometers, that's a little over 1,000 miles, and this is how it went. It started off with light rain. I had to return my rental, and thereafter I took an Uber to the port. At the gates they gave me a safety vest, and I was chauffeured to an admin office to do some paperwork. This took a while as apparently the car wasn't released from the customs and then it had some pending payments. Anyways, after about 45 minutes and about $100 later, I was finally able to pick up the car.
Oh, there it is.
I gotta say I was relieved to finally see it. As seen on this photo, the inspector, once they got out of it, they didn't put the roof back together, and a pool of water had collected in there and it kind of soaked up the seats. And then ground staff noticed this and started chatting with me, and once they heard I'm going to Ontario, they gathered around and we started chatting up a storm. We were having a great time until I realized that I had to pick up my friend from the airport that morning. So I quickly got in, started it up, checked all the gauges, make sure that everything worked, the switches and such. And I noticed that the fuel gauge was empty, so I rushed to the gas station. Fun fact, after I stopped to get gas is when I realized getting out of the car like, hey, it's right-hand drive. It didn't even occur to me because I was in a rush to pick up my friend. I had to take the highway to get to my friend. It was about 25 minutes or so drive. It was raining. I was being careful, kind of learning the car, taking it easy. Once I picked up my friend, we kind of shoehorned all of our luggage in there because the trunk's quite small and each of us had a bag, and then I had my laptop and stuff. We headed to Tim's, had some lunch, chatted for a little bit, and got back out on the road. Gosh, look at that parking job. It wasn't me. I started driving the first round. Things went pretty smooth. Our first stop was Sackville. Weird name, but we stopped at Tim's again and we met a couple who very generously gave us their blanket. It was a thick blanket and it was so useful later in the day as it got colder. We only had a half hood on the car, and for those who don't know what a half hood is, in the UK they call a convertible top a half hood. The second leg of it was when my friend took over, and man, I gotta say, this guy has a heavy foot. He was hauling. And as you can see in this video, we put the blanket we got in the back to cover up the open area, so it kept us a little warmer than usual. Well, we ran out of gas, middle of nowhere, at night, in between New Brunswick and Quebec, closer to the Quebec border. We called in CAA. In about an hour and a half, all was done. We got gas and we were on our way. That's me trying to get into the car with the roof on. From here onwards, I started driving again because my friend cannot be trusted with our gas gauge not working. And this was funny to see because we're going back in time essentially. We were gaining an hour going back to Quebec. We were both quite relieved to see the Quebec sign, although none of us really like Quebec. I would say none of us from Ontario really like Quebec, but hey. My friend decided to go to McDonald's. Eating right before bedtime is always healthy, eh? Anyways, we got to the hotel. And I picked a hotel with underground parking. I didn't want anything jamming or freezing up in the morning when I tried to start the car. And with that, day one was a wrap.